I was talking to someone about the major occurrences that every news outlet is reporting. Diddy and the numerous alleged assault cases against him. When the person I was speaking to said in a matter-of-fact tone, so he was just a serial sexual assaulter. This gave me an entirely different perspective. Then later the same day, I watched a video on YouTube. This YouTuber shared an incident that was brought to him anonymously. A man accused Diddy of luring him to his apartment. They went to the same college, Howard University. Diddy offered him a drink that he later found out was laced. Then he was sexually assaulted by Diddy and another man who had a gun. Now, remove the image that Hollywood so carefully crafted for Diddy, Daddy, Sean Combs. When you do that and you hear about all these alleged sex trafficking, freaky gang assault parties, physical abuse allegations, he would just be a random guy that was given the ability to run amok and destroy lives with no accountability. I took a film class. In that class, the professor said to us, when Hollywood creates someone an image appearing to be the most upstanding person, that person is the exact opposite. The more squeaky clean they try to make them look, the more vile they really are. Now think about all the men who fit that category, the ones that were manufactured a squeaky clean image, and then you find out the truth. Hollywood is a place that makes the most wickedest person look like a saint, and they will turn around and make the most kindest, genuine person look like the devil. Hello everyone, thank you for returning. I just wanted to say briefly before I get into this content that I stumbled across an interview that took place between Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever you choose to call him, and Oprah Winfrey in 2006. This happened I don't know if it was immediately after, but it was after the stampede. During that debacle, the concert the charity event where people were killed, they came in and quickly did damage control. And I wanted to read a few snippets of a little bit of the interview to you guys, so you will see that this is the interview that solidified the public's perspective of Diddy. Hollywood jumped into survival mode, doing what they do best. They orchestrated just the right manufactured cover Diddy needed in order to continue to live the double life he wanted to, and they needed him to. The visual manipulation began with Oprah, someone that most of the public trusted, to bring forth the raw truth, supposedly. Some people did fall away from Oprah, albeit not liking the side that she chose, mainstream over loyalty. But Oprah still held just enough respect to convince the public that she would not dare interview someone who she deemed a lost cause. After all, if you were interviewed by Oprah, you must be someone that everyone needs to pay attention to and believe. The interview did what it was intended to do: put doubt into the minds of those who began to believe the sort of things Diddy was accused of. The seed was planted. From then on out, anything speculated would always be regarded as rumors started by jealous people who tried to keep a good black man down. Because we would always remember Diddy was interviewed by Oprah. Oprah gave him the seal of her approval. That day, Diddy became untouchable. If you could invite any person, dead or alive, to a dinner party, who would it be? Billie Holiday, Coretta Scott King, Malcolm X? I would ask him what he experienced at Mecca that so completely changed his life. So your sense of responsibility has evolved? Yes, I think a lot of our senses have. Don't forget, rap is still an early and imperfect art. If you put a magnifying glass on everything most of us did at the age of 18, not a lot of us would be proud. To grow up, hip-hop needs help from its elders. It's best to keep the conversation open. We come from a generation of children who weren't really talked to. We were just thrown out there. Yep, I can agree. Generation X. Let's continue. I agree. I feel that my generation of black people really failed our children. We didn't teach you to appreciate the price that had been paid for our freedom. I have to say we feel that. And we're not mad or bitter about it. I think y'all are. I think we've moved on. We're just doing the best we can. As an elder, I have such a problem with the N-word. I was down in Mississippi yesterday, and when people there use the N-word, no matter how many times rap has tried to make the word okay, it's still derogatory. We're clear with that, but we don't use the word in that way. For us, it's an endearing term. I know it might sound crazy. It does sound crazy. Black people beat their children because the slave masters beat them. We took the habits of the slave master and we destroyed our children in many ways. The N-word was the slave master's terminology for us. I know that's an elder's point of view. I'm just asking you to consider that the N-word was the last word every black man heard as he was being lynched. I will consider it. I just want you to understand that when we use the word, there's no malice in it. And I do not concur with Diddy. I think it's atrocious that our people still use that word and try to play it off like it's endearing. I think it's just a part of the self-hatred that a lot of black people don't want to admit they're still dealing with, because if you weren't self-hating yourself, you wouldn't be cool with calling yourself a nigga when that word was used in such a derogatory, hateful way. Can't clean it up. Let's continue. You know, I'm open to understanding where rap comes from, but my question to you is the same one I asked Jay-Z a month ago. Is it possible to have rap music without lyrics that demean women? Can we rap without calling women bitches or using the N-word? Yes, it's possible. Like every art form, hip-hop has to grow up, and in some ways, it is changing. The women in the hip-hop community have made sure we've noticed how disrespectful the lyrics are. And yet, there are certain things that are happening in life. People are calling people bitches and hoes, but hip-hop isn't just that. And again, this interview was in 2006. It hasn't much changed. Combs. They still calling women bitches and hoes, and then it just got worse. Let's continue. I understand that it's more. I'm asking about the parts that still demean women. Demeaning women is not right. Violence is not right. Evil is not right. Demeaning women is not right. Violence is not right. Evil is not right. I'm not saying that hip hop has been totally cleaned up, but I think some artists' lyrics have gotten better. As a medium, hip hop still has a lot of evolving to do. Yet it has empowered young people. It has created jobs, clothing lines, to movies, and it has given our youth more joy and hope and a better form of release than almost anything out there. Yes, there are negatives, but hip hop has saved lives. But that sounds like some of that a script he read. Like, it's 2026 and hip hop hasn't changed. Like I said, it got worse, especially when it comes to women. So I don't know, my question to you guys is, was it possible that Diddy came into this field, to the entertainment field, to really make a change, or was he just an inherently wicked person? Let's continue with Oprah. When you're producing an album, is there ever any discussion about the lyrics? Yes, I talked to my artists. I lost my best friend, Biggie. He was shot. His albums were called Ready to Die and Life or Death. One of his album covers was shot in a cemetery. Anything I've ever put in a record, I've seen it come true. So I try to teach the artists. I might ask, is that really worth saying? Did you hear that part? He said, anything he's ever put in a record, he has seen it come true. Let's continue. You met Andre Harrell, who hired you at Uptown Records when you were 19. Did that feel like a life-defining moment? Yes. As I walked through the record company, I knew that it was exactly where I wanted to be. It felt like home. You shot up through the ranks, yet Andre eventually fired you. Did that lead to a kind of freedom? That's what I'm talking about. How he just shot up there when normally it takes people time to get from just being a regular backup dancer to this huge music producer. You know what I'm talking about? Let's continue. I was like a wonder kid at Uptown. The first record I produced sold 2 million copies. And I'd only produced it because the producer didn't show up. My talent is definitely a gift. I don't understand where it comes from. I don't play an instrument, and I never went to school for music production, but I know exactly how a song should sound and how to give an artist direction. Anyway, at Uptown, I sold a huge number of records. I was very passionate, and I didn't understand protocol or workplace politics. So I got fired because there can't be two kings in one castle. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to Andre, but I was fighting so hard. He wanted to be more diplomatic and to make sure everybody felt involved. Getting fired was one of the best things that could have happened to me. Do you see how manufactured his responses are? What I tell you in the beginning, they know how to make slop like it can be sold in a high-end store on Broadway in New York. What did it teach you? It taught me that putting out a record is a team effort. It taught me how to motivate people. It taught me not to be caught up in my own hype. I'm glad I learned that at a young age, but still I don't want to go out like that. I don't want to disappoint the person who put me in the game. Later, I made it up to Andre by changing. Then he came and worked for me. So our roles were reversed. I'm sure they were. Okay, why do you keep changing your name? I read that you said you're going by just Diddy now because the P was getting between you and your fans. The name change thing isn't serious, but during the Puff Daddy era, I got into a lot of trouble. In '99, he was charged with weapons possession and bribery after shooting at a New York City nightclub and faced up to 15 years in prison. He was tried and acquitted in 2001. After the trial, I just said, I'm changing my name. Were you scared during that trial? I was scared to death. I didn't commit the crime. There are so many things I want to do, and sitting in jail isn't one of them. But I knew the reality of how many people of color are convicted of crimes they didn't commit. I knew my chances of getting convicted were very high. And see, that's where I resent him using that, talking about the percentages of, black people, black male and black women getting the high percentage of black men and women who are charged with crimes compared to other groups. But it's like, if you know you did the crime, you know what I'm saying? Why are you comparing yourself to black people who didn't do the crime, or, the crime wasn't what they did or what they were convicted of, what didn't warrant the time they were given. Let's continue with Oprah. A lot of people still think you committed the crime. I can't get caught up in what people think. I can understand why they think that, but I know the truth. But the most deceitful part of Hollywood is the entertainment field is a perpetual state of a glorified image. Picture a caring firefighter climbing a tree to rescue a timid, helpless kitten. That's the image Hollywood wants the most disturbed soul to appear like. Someone who is willing to risk their physical health just for a helpless creature. Now keep that fake manufacturing Hollywood image scenario in mind as I read this online open letter / reveal or what have you that I found. It was written by Jacky Jasper in August 2012. This reveal, alleged or factual, just adds to the line of more breadcrumbs leading to the doorstep of yours truly. Now, what I did before I went around and I, verified names and locations that I saw several things mentioned in this one individual who Jacky Jasper is talking about. The title of this letter reveal, open online letter reveal, is called "The Last Link: Zip Connecting Puffy to Pac Assassination Passes Away" by Jacky Jasper. Like I said, I went and I verified some places and names, and a lot of things are connecting, or a lot of things connected. So let me start. Zip died August 27th, 2012. No disrespect to Chris Lighty, but everyone who's anybody in rap knew Zip. Big, Pac, Puff, Jimmy Henchman, Bumpy, Barry, Hankerson, Frank, Janice, Melvin, Jekyll Wolf, Buck and Big L Global Music Corporations too. And death as in life, Zip made his exit in style: an impeccable suit, an ornament casket, a horse-drawn carriage leading a star-studded procession up and down the streets of Harlem, with Little Kim and Cameron among the celebrities gathered for the wake. Many wondered whether Zip's favorite nephew would show, that bad boy CEO of many names, Sean John Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, I Am Diddy, Swag, chairman of the board, and who has recently started referring to himself as Barack Obama. Back in the day, Puff and Zip were tight, logging long days at Bad Boy and longer nights at Daddy's house. Although Diddy had not seen Zip in ages, He blew in to pay tribute to his uncle and said a few words in honor of the magnanimous OG who literally saved his life. Not only was Zip the godfather of Biggie's son, he was a Harlem music aficionado who owned a nightclub on Adam Clayton Powell. While his contributions to Bad Boy unclear, he co-executive produced records with Puff's closest friend. Following the footsteps of his mentor, Ellensworth Bumpy Johnson, Zip semi-ruled Harlem's underworld on and off for decades. He knew every OG on the East Coast and practically every new kid on the block across the nation. Zip drove a bulletproof Mercedes, operated offices on both coasts, and moved effortlessly in and out of both entertainment and underworld circles. In fact, it was Zip who introduced Puff to the Southside Crips, a formidable street gang based in Compton, California. The Crips came to rescue when bad blood broke out between Bad Boy Entertainment and Death Row Records, where Suge Knight employed Compton Blood gang members as bodyguards. Crips and Bloods have been long mortal enemies and warring factions. The Crips say Zip worked out a deal with Puff for the gang to guard Bad Boy whenever they traveled west. The shot caller of the gang has intimated that the arrangement commenced in Anaheim following a 1995 Jodeci concert. Bad Boy partied with the Crips in Vegas. The gang says after Mike Tyson's 95 prize fight with Peter McNeely, members of the gang attended West Coast recording sessions, and according to the Crips, Zip brought Big into Compton that year to check out South Park. An argument erupted in March 1996 backstage at the Soul Train Music Awards. Crip gang members drew guns to defend Big and Bad Boy against Death Row Blood bodyguards. A fierce standoff ensued, but no shots were fired. The Compton Police Department, LAPD, Las Vegas Police, and FBI conducted an early morning raid in Compton in October '96, locking up dozens of Crip and Blood gang members. According to the search warrant, the cops were trying to quell a gang war sparked by Pac's murder. Some of the Crips arrested in that sweep, the cops alleged had provided protection for Bad Boy. According to Murder Rap, a book published last year by ex-LAPD detective Greg Cading, a Crips shot caller said Puff ordered to pay the gang $1 million for the murders of Suge and Pac. Puff allegedly ordered the hit after dinner at Green Blake's Deli on Sunset Boulevard, according to LAPD records. The Crips shot Pac September 7th, 1996, in a drive-by about a block from the Las Vegas Strip following a Mike Tyson-Bruce Sheldon championship bout. He died September 13, 2012. 6 months later, Biggie was gunned down in an identical drive-by outside the Peterson Automotive Museum about a block from the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. Several witnesses inside the Peterson party told police they saw Southside's shot caller approach Puff and asked if he needed security, after which they saw him approach Lil C's and asked the same question. Witnesses then saw the shot caller approach Biggie, who told his bodyguard to let him through. "He's cool. I know him," Big said. The two spoke briefly. Moments after leaving the party, Big was murdered. Zip was at both crime scenes, with Foxy Brown at MGM when Pac got lit up, with Keyshawn Johnson on Fairfax Avenue before Big wound up in Ward. These are facts you won't find on Sean Combs' Wikipedia page. Zip is mentioned nowhere. He's not the only omission. The almost Forbes billionaire photoshops out every undesirable who helped pave his way to fame and fortune, no matter how important a role they played. Unlike you and me, Diddy need not be defined by pesky, inconvenient facts. In tradition of a cheesy bad boy, B.I.G. repackaged Diddy remixes his past to remove socially unacceptable figures as Uncle Zip, as well as recently convicted crack kingpin James Rosemond, aka Jimmy Henchman, a longtime friend and business associate. Diddy history deletes any reference to his former best friend, murdered felon Anthony Wolf Jones, and incarcerated elementary school buddies and business partners Corey Buck Jacobs and Kenneth Big L Kemp, as well as Black Mafia family drug lord Demetrius Big Meechie. In Diddy history, many ex-friends, like many ex-bad boy artists, simply do not exist. Zip was very much alive the day he called me 15 years ago out of the blue after I wrote his name in an article about B.I.G's stall LAPD murder probe. He didn't like the piece and let me know. Zip and I first met in 2000 on a brisk winter evening in Manhattan. I offered to buy him a drink at the King Cole, my favorite bar. As I waited for him to arrive, my cell phone rang. Zip asked if I could meet him out front of the St. Regis instead. The second I walked through the door, a tricked out Escalade rolled up with Zip behind the wheel, decked out in a plush, full-length mink coat and matching pork pie hat. Zip signaled for me to jump in. We drove around Manhattan talking through our misunderstanding, listening to music, discussing art, crime, and the quality of California hemp. Zip stopped at a liquor store, bought some provisions, and kept driving. An hour later, he dropped me back at the St. Regis. We shook hands, and off he drove down 55th Street. Over the next 10 years, I took the A train up to Harlem every time I traveled east. One evening at Zip Code over scotch, Zip bitterly complained about how Puff had stabbed him in the back. For no apparent reason, just abandoned him, kicked him to the curb as if Puffy suddenly got Alzheimer's. Look, you come all the way from California, 3,000 miles. You make a point to stop by and see me, Zip said. Puffy has never once set foot in this club. Zip's health deteriorated swiftly. He spent years in and out of the hospital battling cancer. Plus, he suffered incapacitating bouts of severe back pain following a serious car accident in which he had been rear-ended. Last week, artists, cops, and criminals across the nation were abuzz about Zip's passing. One infamous wise ex-colleague summed up the situation succinctly. His secrets die with him. For the record, I sent Combs a dozen questions on Friday regarding Zip and their long-standing relationship and the story I was writing. On Monday, Combs spokeswoman Keisha Johnson, vice president of DKC Public Relations, informed me that Sean was not available for comment. Surprise, surprise. I know that Hollywood is about that life. What I saw at Ike Turner's repass had me big questioning this place called Hollywood, that some people are willing to do all kinds of crazy things to get in. The repass was in December 2007. We were invited by someone who's been working behind the scenes for years. They know a lot. We don't talk to them anymore, but yeah, they invited us. We had a great time for real. It seemed like all the pimps and their bottoms around the country made a special trip to see this guy off. I'm talking wall-to-wall pimps and their bottoms. I was like, is this a repass or a players ball? But everybody was cool though. James Brown's ex-wife was there. It was a woman dancing by herself. She had long, beautiful red hair. I believe that was Turner's at the time wife. Late cool Ronaldo Ray was there. He was really down to earth, real cool. One of many things I witnessed at the repass was people making a lot of trips to the restroom to get their noses right. Hint, hint, know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the repass had me questioning Hollywood even more than I had. Hearing things about women being pimped out in that fake depraved town, I believe it. Hollywood is more seedy than any dark alley in downtown LA and a place called Sherm Alley in the jungles. Now that's seedy. That's real seedy for real. I've been watching a lot of videos about this topic, about what's going on with Sean and with Diddy and other people that are being mentioned. I've been listening to Jaguar from day one. I never ever felt that she was incredible, because it was like she had too many details, you know? She had too many details, and from the time she started speaking on this until today, she hasn't changed it up. You know how when somebody lying, they just be like, you know, they didn't say it 15 different ways. What's so crazy is I'm one of those people that like to go and look at the comments and see, you know, and read the room, check the temperature out. And you still have people in the comments. And I'm thinking they're most likely people that is trying to discredit her. And I'm like, the woman has been speaking and saying these things since when she started in 2020. I mean, people damn near was trying to snatch her up and send her to the gallows. And then today, 2023, you see things coming out, and there's too many people coming out saying the same thing. Diddy's, the things they allege that Diddy did, his method of operation doesn't change. You know, they're talking about being doped up. They're talking about trains being pulled on them. It's like they don't change. Earlier in the video, I was looking at a YouTube channel, and the guy said someone reached out to him in his DMs and sent him a message. It was a man who said that he was sexually assaulted by Diddy and a guy when they went to college together. And he said he has all the receipts to prove it. So I believe he said that the guy was he was moving forward with a case against Diddy. So, like I said, and he said this happened in 1989. At that time, Diddy was still a background dancer, because he was in the Stacey Lattisaw video. So this dude was doing this while he was in college. So can you imagine how many more people he allegedly did this to? And like I said, the stories, the things people are reporting, they're too similar. You know, different people, different walks of life, and they're having the same thing. They're saying the same thing. And like I said, hearing about this years ago, and what threw me about Diddy is seeing how quickly he came up in the world. It was like 1 minute I saw him in people's videos, and the next minute he's bad boy for life. I'm like, dang, dude, how you get up there that fast? If these things are true, which I really don't believe they are, lying, but you know how people are. They'll keep denying until they can't deny it, and then they'll come out and start trying to apologize, and they want to blame everything, including their pet dog that they had when they was 5. It's like, here's the thing, the more you lie and try to cover it up, the worse you're gonna look in the end, because we're gonna all be sitting around like, damn, but you said it was a lie. That's the only thing we're gonna be thinking about, and you just lost your credibility. But you lost your credibility a long time ago. And all to Hollywood, it ain't just Diddy. This been going on for years. This been going on for generations. Diddy ain't the only one going down. And just think about it, it's not just hip hop either. I don't like how y'all trying to paint a picture that's just hip hop. No. This goes on. You see what happened to Weinstein, what he did. This is all throughout Hollywood. And I was just thinking to myself, Hollywood is nothing but a big fraud. Hollywood ain't making money like that. I believe that Hollywood is a representative of everything deviant and foul. And the way they have the ability to fly under the radar is acting like they're going out of town on trips. How we know you ain't going out of town doing criminal activities? I just now all this being revealed about Hollywood and artists pimping out other artists. I'm like, damn. You getting artists, bringing them in, pretending like you're going to help them, and then you pimping them out to other. That is some sickness going on. Y'all need to be busted up. Y'all need to be busted up. And if y'all don't look into this, the law enforcements, I know y'all bought and sold. If the FBI, CIA, whoever needs to get involved don't, we gonna know for a fact that y'all bought and sold. But you'll go and hem up a black man just because he stole a loaf of bread to feed his family. But you got these people up here ruining people's lives and murdering people to keep them silent, to keep their secrets hidden, and sabotaging people and keeping destroying their livelihoods, and you're not doing anything about it. But then you'll go mess with the downtrodden and the lowly and the poor. People don't like people who oppress people. How do y'all even sleep at night? Disturbing. And y'all that keep their secrets, you ain't no better. You are worse than them. And I don't have no respect for you, especially women. You saw these other women being pimped out, prostituted out, taken advantage of, abused, misused, and you didn't do anything because you wanted to keep your little funky check. I hope you can't sleep at night. None of you. All these secrets and people getting abused. And I like Tierra Marie. Yeah, she was out there, but I liked her. I liked her little her song that she did with Gucci Mane. What's it called? I forgot what it was called, but I liked it. Y'all dogged that woman out. And y'all gonna get back everything. Anytime you cheat and have to do people wrong to get where you want to be, it never works out. And like I was saying to my sister one day, when they were revealing how that a lot of men were around when these women were being when these women were being assaulted, they didn't do anything. I said, one reason why they didn't do anything, because a lot of them do it. So how they gonna stop him or other men from doing it when they did it? And some men, if they don't put their hands on women, they just had this deep-seated hatred towards them that, they was probably thrilled that a woman was getting jacked up. But don't worry about it, because those seeds you planted, it's gonna come back on you. You don't like it when it comes back, right? Cold-hearted people don't like when the shoe is on the other foot. All right, I'm about to shut this down. Thank you for your time, attention. Be safe out there, and I will see you in the next video.